So, very good morning to our beloved madam. So today, me, Ravin, and my friend Izzat will be presenting for our assignment 1. So the first article is Corporate Governance of Reform and the Value Relevance of Equity Books and Earnings in Malaysia. The author of the journal was Abida Jamaluddin, Raza Mastuti, and Asria Elmina Zana from Research Institute and Faculty of Accountancy, University of Technology, Manila, Malaysia. The article was published in the year 2009. So the main purpose of the study in this article is to investigate the corporate governance reform on the value of relevance of equity, book value, and the earnings. So what's the main problem? The main problem was that how does the governance reform through the issuance of MCCG will impact the value of relevance of book values and the earnings of Malaysian listed companies. So there were two hypotheses to be found in the journal. So the first one would be how investors take into account the equity book value and earnings when valuing firms. And the second one would be the value of relevance of equity book value and earnings increased during and following the governance reform took effect in the country. So the normal as the reviews of the literature, the sources are relevant to the studies as it has been taken from the Bursa Malaysia from the year 1999 to 2001. And as we know, the review is too broad. As we can see, many ways of studies have been included in the journal. The references from these articles are from the year 2000 to 2009, and no evidence of bias can be detected in this article as well. So the design and procedures of this article were done in a research approach where only quantitative data has been used, and the data analysis has been carried out using multiple regression method to calculate the book value and equity earnings per share. The dependent variables that can be found is the value of equity per share of a company. The independent variables is the book value earnings and the earnings before extraordinary items per unit of share. So the data analysis and presentation part. So good afternoon everyone. Today I'll be sharing on how to know if we can invest in a company or not. So for example, as we can see in the screen here, I got Bitcoin. So what you are seeing in the screen now is the statistics of Bitcoin from the August until December 2021. December 3, 2021. So not only that, you can get all the information here. And if you go to the Bitcoin crypto chart, you can see how does the share price increases and decreases throughout the period. In that, from this website, you can see how does it performing on the share price. So from the technical analysis here, we can see that it's pointing at sell. It means that the company's share price is being strongly sold all over the world. And as you can see on top here, you can see that it's indicating a green light and there's a profit of 1.02%. So that means that it's a good time for us to invest in Bitcoin. These are the previous statistics of Bitcoins from people who invested before this. And if you have any questions, you may ask on how to invest on this maybe in the next next session I'll share on how do we invest in these types of things. Any questions? We're presenting about the MNC movement, the share prices of the MNC. So the first graph we're going to see is for the analysis of Nestle company, which is from the time period of 1st March till 31st August. And as we can see from the graph, we can see that the value has been fluctuating almost everywhere since the start of the March until the end of August. So it's been fluctuating throughout the whole time period. And the highest value recorded was during March, which was at the peak of 138. And the lowest was during the end of July and August, quite same, at the value of 133. And not only that, we can also see significant downward trends in the graph from June until the end of July. And for the share price of Honda, same period of time from the 1st March until 31st August, we can see that there are many upward and downward trends in the time period also. And the highest value was recorded during the month of August, which was at 33, and while the lowest value was recorded during March, where it has dropped until 28. And not only that, we can also see a spike in the share price in the month of June from 30 to 33. So the currency used for Nestle was based on Malaysian ringgit, and for the Honda is based on Japanese currency. So I'll pass it to my friend to proceed to the next graphs. Good morning, students. Hope you all have understood what we studied in previous class. Okay, so today we're gonna learn about titration. So have you all heard about titration? All right. I'm sure you all haven't learned about it. So in this topic, we're gonna learn about the principle of titration, terms used in titration, concentration, also. I'll teach you guys everything. So what is titration? It's a technique of determining the concentration of solution depending on what kind of solution you got. Okay, it's a process that involves addition of solution from known concentration. So it's very simple. It's a very simple experiment. Your teachers will be teaching it in school. So what is the principle of titration? It's based on the complete chemical reaction between analyte and the reagent. Reagent is the titrant of known concentration. So when you put the analyte into the titration, then you'll form the product. Understand? So you can see here is how titration experiment is done. So there's the 3 simple steps. So the first step, as we can see here, you'll be having a pipette filled with acid solution, and then you'll drop it into conical flask. Then you'll set up the conical flask as follows with the burette. Then in the burette, you'll have your alkaline solution. For example, we have the sodium hydroxide solution here. And you must be very careful here that you have to drop it drop by drop and not everything once like that. And that's how you get the pink color. The pink color will form when the acid solution has been formed. So